How's it going? What's up? What's up? Can everybody hear me? If you can, just type it in the chat. Good morning. Okay, good morning, Adam. Good morning, Ape. That's good. That's good. Well, I'm just gonna go over BTC real quick and a general update of the market, and I just wanted to share how I had been as well. Yeah, I'm streaming after quite a long time. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been. Probably like 3 weeks, and we have done quite a lot. I think the last time I streamed, we were probably just shopping around here, and we did get a quite further trendy move down from all the way from 90s to 60s right here, which is something that was expected by a lot of people, me included, which is just something that we didn't know this would take quite early. I thought we would have chopped for another month or two before we got back all the way down here. But since we didn't do that, but now that we are in a POI where I could call out that we have potentially locally bottomed, that is pretty good. And just taking a quick look at the structure that we have for the market right now, I'll just do a higher time frame update real quick, and I'll go to the lower time frame. This is a trade I shared on my Twitter, by the way, and the trigger was just price re-entering the value area high right here, and you just basically short the acceptance back, and you short it all the way down. First, you look for a TP on the POC, and the POC I could just extend it all the way here. This is the POC of this entire range. If I go to the higher time frame, and if you draw a volume profile from this point of the level where price started to range all the way to current price level, you would get a value area high, value area low, and a POC just like this. One of Nick is asking, hello, what's the best platform for crypto and to trade gold and oil? MCF is still pretty good. They've recently been having issues they have they're having delayed payouts, but they're still having payouts. So I would say MCF is still pretty good. I would get them back on my profile, but they need sort of a verification to do that. So I'll get that done as well. And MCF is good. There are a few more props that have popped up since New Year that I would still be just looking around for. I think I wouldn't really sort of call them out for now. I wouldn't recommend them right now. I would probably let them develop for a bit, because most of the time new platforms I don't really like to prefer to people. But so far FTMO and something to trade crypto, MCF is pretty good. MCF, my crypto funding is the name. Yep. Oh, going back to the chart right here, this is a POC of this entire range. If you go to the 30 minutes right here, you can draw this volume profile all the way from where the exhaustion pivot started. And the reason why I included this impulsive move down and this impulsive move all the way up is because this is the point where the exhaustion started, and as you can see, even the price went all the way down here, it had to come back here. So this is the point where price keeps repeating and keeps coming back to. So this is the point of exhaustion. This is where I mark the volume profiles from. So I'm just gonna simply extend my POC right here as well. And the POC has barely changed at all. It's pretty much at the same level as I have marked right here. And the value area high, the value area low is pretty much at the same level as well. And we have been just so far since February 6th. And now it's March 8th. That's almost more than a month. So we have just been pretty much shopping inside this value that we have developed on our own for a month or more, and probably continue shopping this more and more. This is something that I posted on my Twitter as well. If you go to, let me just show you real quick what I posted. This is something that I have been trading for quite some time, and it's something that I have shared in my educational system quite a lot of times. And this is a pattern that everybody has been trading in my Discord for quite a while, and this is the specific pattern, right? So basically what price does is price trends until to a point where it starts to exhaust, and usually it happens in a trendy move. Now, knowing that price is in a downtrend on the higher time frame, if you take a look at it, considering all the way from here, we are pretty much in a downtrend, and price exhausted somewhere here, and it's starting to like compress again. And this is what like continuation is all about. It has to sort of start compressing, and through that compression new development of price is done, right? And now taking a look at this, price starts to like pretty much chop, and then what you can do is like you can take a long at the value area low, you can take a short at the value area high. Eventually it comes to a point where you're trading your setup of like longing the value area low and shorting the value area high simply just invalidates, and you get a stop loss, because even this setup is like not 100% efficient. So if you're just trying to trade within the range, it'll come to a point where the range is not tradable anymore and it escapes to one side. But it's not the escape that matters, it's the reaction that follows. And right here, price distributed. As you can see, it rejected and it sort of like did a break structure right here. And then what it does is it comes back into the value area high and gets accepted back into the value area high, and then it sort of rotates all the way down to the value area low. And if you take a look at this chart right here, it doesn't seem any different. It had been like trending down, and what it did, it was started to like chop, and then it compressed, and then it did a lot of like rotations. So if you just longed, and so if you just like shorted the value area high and all the way down to the value area low, or if you longed the value area high all the way to the value if you long the value area low all the way to the value area high, you would have just like gotten a few trades until it gets to a point where you would have actually gotten a loss, where you would have realized, okay, I was wrong on the rotations, even which you could have avoided if you just taken a look at the structure that was right there. And I'll show this on the TPO right here, and if it's too fast for you, I'll just let you guys see the recording after this stream as well. That is, if you take a look at this specific structure right here, it's coming into a single print, which I will show you real quick. So this is the TPO. TPO is time price opportunity. It's like an advanced version of volume profile. And if you take a look at the TPO right here, we only came down here to fill a single print. And what exactly is a single print on TPO? Single prints are actually just prints that are single as compared to the other prints. And what this represents is it represents a very tiny FVG, and this tiny FVG is like very important for a structure, because there's some imbalance to it. And what that imbalance does is there's probably some people with stop losses, there's probably some people that want to get filled here, and there's usually a lot of orders sitting at these levels. So price only came back down to fill whatever inefficiency it had left. And if you zoom into it, maybe go to the 5-minute or the 3-minute, you're gonna see that there's an FVG that's sitting right here that you probably don't see it on the 30-minute chart. And what happened was like price basically came down to fill that inefficiency, and you could probably consider this to be a deviation as well. Like you could probably consider this to be, okay, we started ranging and then we deviated below, and then we came back up, and then we broke out, right? That is something you would assume, considering that we did break out till here. But when we started to pretty much distribute right here, that confirmed my pattern that I just show you right here, which is like overall distribution in a overall downtrend, which looks something like this, where the prior deviation is just considered to be also range, but price coming back into that level, this is to be confirmed deviation. And the reason for that is we are in an overall downtrend. We are going to follow the trend here. We're going to give more respect to the trend than whatever low is forming, right? I would have been more happy, and I would have been way more bullish if price has just started to trend from here, and I would probably longed it all the way high back up to like 96 or even 100k, right? But we didn't really do any of that, and we started to distribute. And the way we distributed is pretty simple, and it's pretty reflecting of this structure right here. That is, we had this like high, and then this high started to like break, and what happened was we broke the low, and then we came back, and then we formed another lower high. And this is a structure that has like developed right here, and this is like peak distribution. I even have this like on my Discord, and I can show it to you guys real quick what like this one of the distribution schematic looks like. And it's just like this structure where an initial high is formed, and then after the initial high there is a lower high that's formed. Let me take a look at the chat real quick, by the way. What's the chat saying? Vitro, how are you doing? Fumiki, good morning, good morning. I was gonna say I never seen you lose a trade and then just saw that short setup. I didn't lose a trade. Okay, that was a W trade. No, I mean I don't have like a perfect win rate, but it's like I try to cut my losses as minimal as possible and potentially go for setups that only require a 2 or 3 R out of the market. And whenever the 2 or 3 R gets out of hand, I'll just like usually extend the trade. Let's just say this is a trade, right? Price comes into my entry and then I'll like long, and this is my stop loss and this is my TP, right? Whenever price goes almost to my TP and I feel like it could go like much higher, it could go higher, I just like move my TPs like much higher and basically just run the trade. That's just micromanagement of the trade that makes it look like that okay, there's quite a lot of W's that are being taken, but my initial trade is always like a 2R or a 2.5R that I am aiming for. And whenever I have a trade that I would probably like see that it's gonna go in a loss, I just try to cut it around break even because that's not really the reaction that I'm looking for. I don't let price go all the way down to my stops unless I have a lot of devotion to the trade, and that's probably the thing that leads to a lot of devotion and dedication to the trade. And that would be a lot of context as well, as there could be context like okay, there's a single print confluence, there's a few more confluences where I'm like okay, I'm gonna take the stop, I feel like price is not gonna go to the stop, so I'm just gonna let it run. Abe saying Shin is the one who formed my way of trading for like 80%, although I saw was confirming his seeing his charge market. Thank you so much. Looks exactly the same, and I haven't seen this before now. That's good to know. If you can see the way I do, like I've done a lot of screen time on the charts. If you can see charts the way I do, that's a pretty good achievement, I'd say, and probably could do much better. I am also still learning every single day, so we're all doing this together. Vitro said, can we also use TPO in forex market or maybe metals? This TPO is very efficient. Actually, TPO is more efficient on forex, so you should try TPO on. I don't know if Exo has the pairs for it, but they probably do. Um, I am not sure, but you can use Sarah charts for TPO. You can go to Sarah charts to like see your USD or other pairs, and TPO is like very efficient on Forex as well. Mother Pro said, "Hey Shini, do you know why some people had to wait like 5 weeks for their payout on MCF, or everything fine now?" Basically, what happened with MCF was like there was some backend problems with like some coding problems in the backend where there was a payout delay. They had lost some data. So what they basically did was like they asked everybody that had a payout to just email them their ID and how much payout they had, and they would process the payout. So a lot of people that waited this long probably didn't email them or probably didn't reach out to them, and those who did still have their cases going on, and it's not like they're not paying out, it's just they lost a lot of data from the backend. That's why they're doing payouts manually. That's basically what went on with the MCF the past few weeks. 5 ads, Abe said. I am not sure if there's ads playing. I have no idea how to like stop them. I'm probably gonna like end the ads because I don't want people to be interrupted by the ads. Endgame asked, which platform do you use for TPO? I use ExoCharts. ExoCharts is pretty nice. You can use like ExoCharts right here. Devious Maximum, how are you doing? Amber, good morning, good morning. Flamingo, Shini, how do you micromanage your trades? I always end up cutting winners so early. That is a very good question, and that is something you will have to like just get over at some point. This is something that I could talk about actually. Let me just go to the lower time frames real quick and share to you guys what I am looking for in terms of like the market right now. Probably take a trade. Actually, I don't really see a trade at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I would just wait it out. Probably long the POC that's down here. Let me just like extend it real quick. I would probably go for a long around the POC if we manage to get like a pretty strong reaction. And the reason for that would be like just a hold of these lows. So we have one low, then there's another low, and if price comes back to the POC, we'll probably get like a very strict trade, it would likely be just an initial bounce and it would continue lower if you reject from the value area low right here. So that's the trade that I'm looking for. So that's something that you can just watch out for. And another trade that I'd be looking for would be a continuation above this POC. So now that we know, like, if you take a look at this, we are forming a pretty nice like uptrend structure right here, and we have like formed pretty nice bottomish lows. There's a lot of like delta that's trapped into these lows, a lot of like POIs that were filled from these lows, and we just like pretty much continued that grind and we sent it price all the way back up. Even though it deviated, there's still hope that we came into this FVG right here and we filled it up and we have pretty much held onto it. The only thing I want to observe right now is continuation into the POC. So I want to see another low hold, and then I want to see this POC flip basically, because POC is a lot of volume. So once we are able to flip the sheer amount of volume that's sitting down here, I think we would go like much higher, probably go to the end POC. That would be probably my target, and the trade would probably look like this. This is what the trade would look like. I haven't actually really fully TP'd on my short, by the way. I am still holding some of it, and I might extend it lower to the end POC if we do not flip the POC, right? We have to flip this level for me to like trigger a long, and then put my stops at the prior low, the slow grind low, and then aim for the value area high first, and from there I could be aiming the end POC, right? But if we do not flip this level, what's gonna happen is we're just gonna trend down from here, and then we're gonna go down to the value area low. That's gonna be my like second TP, and if we break down the value area low, we're gonna go pretty much straight up to the end POC. So it's just level to level right now. And what's the margin of these levels, by the way? Let me just check. Oh, that's a lot. So it's like almost a 6.3 6.4% range. So these moves, even this move, like a move down from here to here, it's like 1,400 in USD in terms of dollars on BTC. So that can be a good scalp. You don't have to worry about the fees that's going on right here. Let me take a look at the chat again real quick. Oh, I was actually gonna go over the Flamingo's question that is like, Shini, how do you micromanage your trades? I'll always end up cutting winners. And that is like, let's just say this is a trade that I'm taking, right? This is the last trade that I took, right? I'm still in this trade. This is something that I posted on my Twitter, by the way. And actually I have this in like my Discord as well. So if you just go to my Discord and you just like check out like, probably, where is Shinicord? If you just go and check out like Shinibot, it's all of my updates are like pretty much here. So I like pretty much posted this trade right here. So the moment it comes back, this was supposed to be like a manual trigger. I didn't really update it when I took it because I was outside. I was like chilling. So this is something that I just like threw out that you could have like limited in, but this still required a trigger for price to like come back. And the moment it comes back into the value area high, you just like extend it like much slower, right? And I was just gonna explain how like micromanaging and cutting your winners early off is bad for you. What you can basically do is like, you can just let's just say this is a trade, right? I'm gonna like just draw and give you an example real quick. Let's just say you are in a trade, right? And the price is like doing pretty well. What you basically need to see is a trend in the direction of your trade. So if you're taking a long, you want to see a trend that goes, or a slow grind that goes in your favor. And if you're taking a short, you want to see a trend that goes in your favor. That's pretty much and basically all there is to it, right? And what's going on here is like, let's just say price is developing and developing and it keeps developing, but comes a point where there's a POI that's sitting somewhere behind it, and price comes here and then it starts to reject. It's not the rejection that makes you want to exit the trade, it is the reaction that follows. So basically price rejected, right? But the reaction could be very different. Price could either continue the slow grind and then just continue much higher, right? Then you don't have to cut the trade. So you have to sort of wait for that reaction, right? But if it starts to do a break structure and then it starts to hold highs, now the trend is pretty much against what I was looking for, right? Now what I can expect is price to go back to my entry. And now that will be a break-even trade. Only then you have to cut your winners, right? Only then you have to take the L in your winners. If that condition is like not like going there, and if the condition is that okay, it's still pretty much in your favor and it's still pretty much going higher, you just extend the trade, right? Even around your TP, there could be a POI that's like here, but there could be another POI that's like high above here. So if you see that price is still pretty much not giving up on that strength, you want to look for strength actually. If price is not giving up on that trend, just extend your TP, right? And probably keep extended it all the way until it comes to a point where price actually starts getting exhausted, and then you see a flip or a change in the overall market. It could be a scalp, it could be like a swing, and you could get a much better trade out of what you were initially looking for. That's basically how you like micromanage trades, and try not to cut winners. If it's going your way, if it's going the direction or the intention you had for it initially, just let it take over, and then just try to have bigger balls, steal balls, and try not to fumble. That's basically all I can do. When your money is on the line, if it's around break even, you have a lot of like thoughts that are going around your head that, okay, maybe I exit this trade, maybe I don't. Okay, this is stalling too much, this is not for me, this and that. That's why you choose easier trades. Trades that are trendy, trades that don't make you stress. So when they don't make you stress, you bet more, and eventually that ends up being so much better for you. Another question, he just explained, okay. Adam asked, do you use VWAPs or do you just use volume profiles? I use VWAPs if it's a trending day. Let's just say this is a trend, like it goes all the way from the top to the bottom here. This is a place where I would actually use a VWAP. I only use VWAPs in trends, but when it's ranging, I just use volume profile. That's basically the thing that you want to go for, by the way. One more question, like Modepro asked, Shini, you think MMT can replace Velo and exit charts altogether? I think exit charts has way too deep roots to be replaced. MMT, I will have to like check out. Velo is pretty good as well. We use Velo a lot, and MMT is just something that would need some more recognition, most likely, right? I mean, $30 for everything looks like a pretty good deal on MMT. I mean, if you want to go for that, I would recommend you go for that, but I just have been pretty loyal to exit charts from the beginning. I would definitely like to try out MMT after this session. Endgame asks, you use FRVP at what time frame? I use time frame doesn't really matter with the volume profile. What matters is the structure. So there could be a range on the daily time frame, there could be a range on the 15-minute time frame, right? There could be a range pretty much on any level. Like this range that I've drawn right here is on the 30 minutes right here, right? And this range volume profile that I've drawn right here is on the daily. So time frame does not matter at all. It's more of overly the structure. CK Trader asks, hello, super thankful. Which indicator do you use for the NPC? Basically, they're like, I don't really use any indicators. I literally just draw them out manually. So I take this like trend line tool, I just draw this, and if I go to the settings, I have these templates that I have drawn for myself. I choose NPC, it's gonna be an NPC template. I'm gonna choose POC, it's gonna be POC template. That's basically how I like just mark them out. And I draw volume profiles manually, and just the main ones that would actually be required. NPC, and where do I really look for like NPOC is the TPO. So I just like go and see which where a POC hasn't been tapped right here. This POC has not been tapped on the next day, and there's a poor high here by the way as well. That's actually my reasoning for prices this long that I shared. If price flips here, I'm gonna long here all the way to NPOC, and the reasoning is I see that there's a single like a poor high right here. We have an NPOC that I could stretch out from here, and the moment we flip prior day NPOC, right, the moment we flip it, and that's the overall POC of the entire range, the monthly range, right? The moment we flip it, the next level would be first the value area high. The value area high also has some resistance by the single print, and once we just blast through it, we're gonna go all the way back up because there is a single print that is sitting, poor high that is sitting here as well. So this is how basically you can mark our rotations on a TPO as well. Another question by Hugo, bro. Any update on sessions? It's been 5 to 6 months. I will update on the sessions this week, 100%. Flamingo, for your FRVP, do you draw it out for every session or daily? I don't even draw it out daily for daily. I just have TPO for drawing it out daily, right? But what I do is like I mark out the overall range, because that is what is important, and that is what basically matters. And by the way, going over the higher time frame real quick, I was hoping that we sort of form a compression range, and what we could do was like, I'm gonna try to like implement what I was thinking what happened around this PA, and that was like, okay, we form a low, we form another low, we form another high, and then we compress, we keep compressing, and then we break much higher, right? But that's not really what happened here, and we're following more of let me show you real quick again. We are following more of what's going on right here right now, right? So I'm hoping we don't break down, because if we do break down, then it's gonna be pretty cooked, right? So what I'm hoping is that now what's basically going on right now on the PA is that we started to chop, we broke down a little bit, and then we broke up, and now we're back into range. This is basically what's happening. This is more consolidation. Compression looks like no break of highs or no break of lows, basically. And looking at it, I was thinking that we probably go a little higher and distribute around like 75 to like 85 range, somewhere here. So we could have gotten like pretty nice TPs. But now that it's like just gonna chop right here, the moment it breaks down, it's gonna be pretty bad. So what I'm hoping for is that we don't break down the value area low right here. Endgame asks FRVP for each accumulation. Accumulation and distribution doesn't matter in this regards. You just mark out the range. Both accumulation and distribution are just consolidation and ranges, so you just mark them out. Mob the Pro asks, do you use multiple VWAPs or just one starting from the all-time high? I use multiple VWAPs depending on the context. So if let's just say right here, let's just assume this price structure, right? From this point all the way to this point. Everything else we're blind to right now, okay? And if price is trending, it's only trending, right? There isn't any range for me to like draw out, right? There isn't any range in this price section that I could say, okay, I'm gonna draw a volume profile on. So, but I still need to know the value area high and value area low of this structure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark a VWAP, right? So VWAPs are only to be used. I don't know why I can't mark the VWAP. So VWAPs are only to be used when you are looking at a trendy structure. That's basically the entire idea of VWAPs. Right. Endgame asks, your thoughts on boiling bands? I have no idea what that is. Ape, do you trade this POC with the D shape volume profile differently to the B shape volume profiles? Oh, a B shape. So basically a D shape volume profile is so much better compared to, this is what a D shape volume profile looks like. So this is a D shape volume profile, right? It looks like a D, right? A D shape volume profile, value area high, value area low, POC are so much better because they're like cleaner, and you know the price is gonna rotate within them. But a B shape profile that looks something like this, and I'll show you, we have a B shape profile right here. So this is a B shape profile, right? So there's some gap in between. There's a lot of data up above here and a lot of data down below here, right? There's POC right here. What this does is like it creates a lot of discrepation, and that is like if price comes here and it flips, it pretty much just rotates to the other side, because this area, this part is pretty much imbalanced, and price, when lost from balance, it seeks other balance, right? So if it is lost from here, it's gonna go and rotate all the way to the other balance. So price just sort of teleports in and moves very quick in imbalance, and it starts chopping and rotating in balance. Right. Shini, when you're executing a trade, Flamingo asked, do you keep in mind session times? For example, if set of forms before. I actually like keep in mind session times all the time. Even right now, New York Open is gonna hit like in what, like an hour or so, right? And basically that's some things that I look for a lot. And session timings are very important. And whenever you have some sort of session timing, especially London Open, New York Open, and Asia Open. Actually, more Asia Open and New York Open. And the way these sessions are distributed and divided is, if you take a look at the day, right? The day clock starts from like 12 in the midnight, right? And then there's like 3, then there is like 6, then there is like there is like 9, right? So let's just say there's 24 hours in the day, right? The first session is like 6 hours, right? The first session, Asia session. Then the second session is another 6 hours. That is the London session. Then the next session is another 6 hours. That is the New York session. And the last session is another 6 hours, usually market close. That is another 6 hours, right? So you have to take into consideration the first is Asia session. Then from Asia, it's London session. Then from London, it is New York session. And from New York, it is pre-close or close or pre-open session, right? That is basically the sessions you need to be confirmed. The session that is most volatile for BTC is at New York and Asia. So you want to have your timings around either Asia or New York, and that's something you want to definitely like keep in your setup. Easy Young, Skinny Good Day. How do you play a swing setup? A swing setup, I just play pretty much as the same as the way I described right here, just on a bigger time frame. And endgame shape and volume profile and TPO shape are the same. It is the same. TPO is just defined by the amount of time prices spent at some level, right? So time POC can be something different, and volume POC can be something different, and that causes discrepation in a TPO. Right, let's just take a look at the Discord chat real quick as well. What is everybody up to? Okay, One Piece looking for a quick long. There's somebody looking for a short, and not a setup that I would take. I would honestly just wait for a setup to form. I would honestly just wait for a setup to form and hold this like short that I have at the moment, and just let it work. Vitro asks, do you have exposure on BTC spot? Not at the moment. I'm still a little skeptical, but I would definitely like this spot right here. If you can start DCAing from probably this, if you have money, start DCAing. If you don't have money, I recommend you rather trade than like spot BTC. You can spot altcoins. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the overall market updates. I'm gonna do another session tomorrow or Tuesday and go over Ethereum, how like Ethereum has been doing as well, how SPX has been doing as well. I was looking for a short on SPX. I haven't talked about it. The markets. Maybe it's probably the reason why BTC is also just dumping, and we could just definitely like bounce from here. And by the time we bounce from here, BTC probably continues to chop more, acts more bearish, and eventually we get a bounce again like we do all the time, right? This is 2025. Okay, nice. If you guys have any more questions, you can always ask me. Yeah, I'm back to Mo the Pro ask, is Shini, is the core active currently? Thought about joining. The core is active again. I have started posting. I've been back from my hiatus, and I am back to trading as well. I'm keeping updates all the time, every time. And if you have any question, you can just like text me or tag me in the chat anytime, and I'll definitely respond to it as soon as possible. We're gonna run things back up, and we're gonna do much better this year. Yeah, and if you have any more questions, you can always DM me on Twitter, or you can, if you're in the Discord, just tag me in the Discord chat, and I would really appreciate your guys' ideas and your support. Medic, how are you doing? Same idea in indices. I actually have been looking for the since like 2015. I think I posted about it on Twitter in some comment, and I'm looking at it right now, and hopefully this plays out and we get a nice trade off of this as well. What's your Discord server? My Discord server, you can just go to @Shinicord on Twitter, or just check out my like bio, and then you can join from there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and I'll see you later. If you have anything you want to discuss with me, or any of this works out, this stream is definitely recorded. I'm gonna post it later when the stream is done. Thank you so much for joining. It was pretty good talking to everybody after such a long time. We're gonna go back to being active, and we're gonna run things back up. Love you guys. See you later. Take care.